Anyone who knows me knows I do my homework on things. And so when I heard so-called feminists protesting about Wonder Woman and saying that the current iteration of Wonder Woman was a pinup model who was big-breasted that basically wore a shimmering suit with stars and stripes representing the United States, I was somewhat offended by it. If you watched my last video, you would see me comment on the current iteration of Wonder Woman and what she really is. She literally epitomizes a period in history and Greek mythology. Now, this current version of Wonder Woman you're seeing right here, as I said before, her suit is very much like not just what Greek or people of the day wore, whether they be male or female, but she literally is dressed in a warrior's suit. And I'm going to prove this point very easily. So, watch very carefully at this suit. Watch at the protected, armored footwear. And she's armored also in the middle of her suit here. And she's even armored here. Okay? And the weapons she has are shields and swords. She's also protected here. And she has a lasso of truth, which is a little bit different. That's kind of extra stuff there. But the entire suit for here is historically, literally historically, something that warriors wore. So let's look at what I'm talking about. Let's look at, first of all, the old movie Hercules. What kind of suit does he have? A suit like Wonder Woman. He's got a breastplate which protects him from sharp objects. It's made of metal. Okay, he's got a loincloth for below. Notice it is high up. It goes high up the hips. Okay, he even has a kind of regal cape on him. And he has a sword. And again, he has the bracelets to protect the hand from getting cut at the wrist. Okay, fortunately you cannot see his footwear. Here he is again. This is the regalia of a warrior. Let's go back and watch Wonder Woman again. Look at her regalia and look at Hercules' regalia. Very, very similar. Okay? I'm just making my point. So we've just gone through Hercules. Let's move on. Here is a soldier from Sparta. This is a Spartan. Again, the regalia is protected this time. Thick leather regalia protected by some armor. He has the armor breastplate, of course, to protect him from the darts. He has the shield. You can see some things stuck into his shield. He's got a helmet. He's got again a cape because he's probably a general or whatever he is. He's got a spear, and again he has the bracelets on the arms, and again the long armored footwear. This is to protect you from any darts or any things coming up from the ground. Okay, here's Wonder Woman again, and she's adorned the same way. She's just a woman, but again she has the hard breastplate here to protect her from sharp objects. She's got the loincloth, which is armored. Okay, it's armored loincloth, and again the footwear and the breast and the the bracelets. The bracelets, okay, and she's got the shield and the sword. Once again, the same thing, but this time protective wear for the face. This is a Spartan again. Notice, however, this is from the movie 300, but again, this is actually historically correctly done again. War gear, believe it or not. Again, the protective wear for the feet. Again, this is just to make sure the feet are not broken, stones, anything that may be coming up from the ground, or things even thrown at the person, spears, whatever, protect them. He doesn't have a body breastplate like Wonder Woman has, but he has a helmet. He's obviously a general because he's wearing the cape, and he has something to protect his groin area, okay? Again, there are the bracelets. Okay? Now, I guess feminists wouldn't have a problem with this, okay? This must be very sexist, right? But this is actually something that people wore in war. This is King Leonidas from 300. Okay, Zack Snyder film. But the point anyway is this, and this is not a real person, this is actually a hot toy of him. But the point is, I'm going to show you historically that they not only sometimes wore less gear in war, they sometimes wore no gear in war. They literally fought naked. But we'll go into that in a minute. Okay? We'll go into that in a minute. Here is Gladiator. Okay? This is Maximus Aurelius, I think is his name. The Gladiator general. Again, you've got the breastplate. Okay? Shields for the shoulders. Again, bracelets to protect the hands. And this time he has boots that he's strapped on. Okay? He's got a loincloth. Okay? But it's got armor on it to protect. Again, Wonder Woman, same gear. Okay? Same gear. Here he is again, Maximus Aurelius. Notice that the loincloth again does not go all the way down to the knees. It doesn't. Okay? Wonder Woman, same thing. Okay? Because you need mobility. Let's move on. Here is the general from Clash of the Titans. And guess what? Same kind of gear. Breastplate. Armored bracelets to protect the wrists. A shield. Okay? A sword. Loincloth protected by some armor. Again, shields to protect the knees and the feet. This is standard stuff. Wonder Woman. Clash of the Titans. Let's move forward. Same thing again. Watch, same gear. There's nothing different between them. Same gear. Okay? Troy. This is the Greek general. The man who was almost unstoppable. Look at him. The same kind of gear. Here is stylish doing styles, but these are actually regalia that women warriors actually wore back in the day, and I'm hyperimposing it on this general here. Again, he has the breastplate to protect the breast, the shield. He's got leather here. He's got again a loin, not even loin, leather to protect his loins, and some shield metal to protect it again from sharp objects. See him charging with his shield. He has a helmet as well. But this regalia is war regalia, much as people are styling it out here. Okay, I flash back to Wonder Woman. Okay. Here he is again, the general. There's his shield. There's his spear. He used the spear and the shield mostly. Okay. Here he is again. Wonder Woman. In the same kind of gear. Didn't have a helmet. That's the only difference. Alright? There's the general again. So, this gear is standard for war. Xena Warrior Princess, the TV show. Again, same kind of gear. You've got a chest guard, a breastplate. Okay? Then you got the loincloth with some armor on it. You got the bracelets to protect the wrists, and then you got again protective guards for the feet. I think you may see a more complete picture of here somewhere. This is an actual artifact of what a Amazon actually wore, and here are again the guards for the feet. Like I said before, here is the sword and the shield, the breastplates to protect the chest, and again the armor plated stuff here. Wonder Woman, Xena, all of them had it. Okay? And this is an Amazon warrior. Here are the Amazon warriors in war. This is a depiction of them actually fighting a war. The Themyscians actually were victorious in many wars. And of course, they had to wear these kinds of things. Again, a chain mail, coat of mail. But of course, this stuff is not going to go all the way down. Okay? You got the chain of mail to protect the loins. But that's it. And then you got of course, the army fighting stuff. You even got the helmets here. There's Xena. See, same kind of stuff. This ain't a pinup girl stuff. This is a warrior's outfit. And you're seeing it right here. This is historically correct. This is what they wore. Here is this is called World of the Gladiators or something like that. And this was a gladiator in that movie. Okay. So Wonder Woman, basically, historically, this gear, even these here, you see the general, you can see the higher ranking people have the sort of protection on the shoulders, right? Higher ranking generals. She wasn't allowed to go to war really, but she was trained to the hilt. And again, Princess Diana, all of these are actually historically correct uniforms that these people wore. These are actual body armor that they actually used in war. Now, as you can see here, this is the ancient Greek dress, okay? And this is literally depicted in statues. Here you see this ancient Greek dress here, and this statue. Sometimes the bosom would be out on one side, okay? But basically, this is an ancient Greek dress. And again, Diana is wearing basically ancient Greek dress. You see it not only there, but also here depicted in this Themysciran settlement here. Now, this is an actual war. Again, in war, something that people don't know. And you can see here, this is a woman here, this is a woman here. They're fighting right now, and they're fighting against men. But these are all women here fighting. Okay, and you can tell it. As you can see, one part of their bosom is out, but they're fighting a war. This is the important thing. This is literally an actual art mural carving into a wall. Okay, so this is actually either a mythos or something that actually happened. And we know that the Themyscirans actually fought wars. Here is a Themysciran fighting a soldier. Notice he's butt naked. He has a helmet on, he has a shield, and I guess he has a sword there, and he has some clothes, but it seems like his clothes are stripping off, and she is about to hit him with a sword, and he's trying to block it. Okay? And there's another one lying down dead. This is a war. Okay? So that actually what we saw in terms of Sparta, in terms of the Spartans, is actually sometimes in history they may have been overdressed. Okay, here's another one now. This is again a woman fighting against a man. She's throwing a battle axe at him. He has a shield. He's all geared up, and she, again, one part of the bosom is out, and you see her riding a horse. They generally rode horses, and attacking this guy here in regalia. Here they are again, half a bosom out. This is one drawing a bow and arrow. Okay. So when we talk about the Amazons, this is what we're talking about. Now, part mythos, part true. Here we have two women gladiators going at one another, all geared up and everything. Okay, you can see the loincloth here, and it's protected, the shields that they have, the swords that they have at their sides, the helmets that they have on. Here's some more battles here. Again, women fighting men, and so on. This is a depiction by some artists. Here it is again. This is a woman, this time fighting a man. The sword, he's using the sword on her. And again, he's buck naked. So, like I said before, this Spartans, they actually had warriors who literally were dressed like this. And some who were dressed less than this. Okay, that's why I said the depiction of these warriors, they're warriors. They're out there to fight, and really, the less they have to restrict them, the more nimble and agile they could be out there. It's about war. Okay? So it's not surprising to see a depiction of this where we have Amazons, and this is in South America, Amazons fighting back against imperial Spanish people coming to invade their territory, using bows and arrows against them to kill them, and literally cutting off their heads. You see the soldier's head is beheaded. He's completely decapitated. All right, this other soldier, he's on the ground, and he might be taken out in a little bit. Again, these people, these ancient peoples, these Amazons, they were not peoples who were dressed up to the hilt. They didn't know about clothes like that. They generally were dressed very little, and they used, like for instance, here, this soldier here has the arrows attached to her. She's tied the arrows to her, but they're not into all of this clothing stuff. Okay, they just moved around nature normally. Okay, so again, you have many different depictions. Here is the Greek depiction of an Amazon again, and again we've seen an Amazon dressed up in gear. I just showed you some carvings in walls and stuff of that, right? So there are depictions of this as well, and so this is where Wonder Woman has come from, okay? And all of the Themyscians, how they're dressed and how they're adorned, it literally come from historical facts and historical period. And the interesting thing about it is people are complaining about them wearing very skimpy clothing, which doesn't make sense to me, because as a soldier you want mobility, but you also want protection. So some soldiers, the chain of mail and stuff was just too much for them, so they just went bare naked and they just used their weapons and they fought, okay? And they were just identified by their helmet or whatever as a general or whatever. Other soldiers, depending on what you were doing, right? Other soldiers, they may carry more chain mail, protect their bodies because they want to last longer. And it's not so much about agility, because they may be the strategists, so they would have to direct the traffic. So really, the modern version of Wonder Woman is basically, because she's infinitely strong as well, but she's not immune to getting killed by especially sharp objects. Sharp objects that are not blunt can impale her skin. So she has this chain of mail, or what we call a breastplate here, and then she has the loincloth, but the loincloth is reinforced with metal in it. And again, she has reinforced armored gear to protect her knees, joints, and also the front of her, her shins and stuff from any projectiles coming at her, explosions, etc. Right? She also has the bracelets, which are, again, that's just standard protocol for warriors. Okay? The only thing she does not have is a helmet. Wonder Woman does have a helmet. Queen Hippolyta has a helmet, and a number of others. Her aunt has helmets and so on, and they have even greater chains of iron and mail on their bodies to protect them even more in battle. And again, they would have the great, what we call a cape, or what they call a shoal to indicate the level they're at. They're ranking officers, whether they're commanders or they're chiefs or captains or whatever they are. So at the end of the day, those feminists who saying that Wonder Woman is scantily clad and blah 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 blah, they have to discount Xena Warrior Princess, because I never heard them say anything about her. They'll have to discount innumerous iterations in history of women warriors and women soldiers who fought wars and defeated so many nations round about them. I'm talking about the Greek Amazons, also known as the Themyscians, who actually, they say there's mythos about them, but there's also actual history of them. And then we'll have to discount all of those people in South America who were the guerrillas, who did guerrilla warfare and conquered the invading Spaniards and the English, who were scantily clad, if they were clad at all. Then we'll have to go back into Greek mythos and realize, oh, wait a minute, some of the Greek soldiers weren't even wearing any clothing or armor or anything. They were just fighting wars, buck naked. So, I mean, at the end of the day, 300 shouldn't be watched. It's sexist. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't be making that stupid argument. You must know the history of what you're looking at. You must be up to speed with, when you say the current iteration of Wonder Woman, what exactly are you talking about? I mean, this is the current iteration of Wonder Woman. She's not big-breasted. She's not scantily clad. She's clad like a warrior, like I've been always saying. And I want you guys to share my videos, because we need to educate people. I think a lot of people are not educated on these things. I think the problem is education out here. People open their mouths and talk about things they know nothing about. And it takes people who actually have studied these things or researched these things to come out and spread the information that is true, because we have a lot of false information out here circulating. And obviously Donald Trump, as I said before, became president of the United States because people don't know what's true anymore. people allow nonsense to rule them. And I think it's because people are filled with fear, and when you are filled with fear, you can't think straight. You can't reason out things in a logical manner. And a lot of these people, for various reasons, don't think straight. Feminists, if you're a true feminist, there's no way you discount Wonder Woman. I don't care how scantily clad she is. Because again, no matter what you say, warriors back in the day were scantily clad. Okay? Because they needed to be nimble. They needed to move around. People back in the day were not as today looking at nakedness as something sexual necessarily. There was probably a season for it, or like a mating season or something. But for the most part, people, just like with animals, moved around naked a lot of the time because it was just natural to do. Wearing clothing is not natural, as much as we would like to make it sound like that. It's not really. Right? Because if that was so, then all the animals of creation would wear clothes. The only animals that wear clothes in all of creation are humans. Think about that now. And in some tribes in Africa, it's very natural to move around naked. It's not a big deal. People are not perverts. Okay? But even besides that, that's a whole other story for another day. My point anyway is this. That for feminists who are supposed to be fighting for equality and not fighting just for women to be at the top or whatever nonsense is going on these days, or just for political means to make their voices heard so people can hear them, feminists are all about equality. So if, yes, you're saying that women are being objectified, and that's wrong, and there's so many wrong things still happening with women, it's not funny. But when you say that women are being degraded by this particular iteration of Wonder Woman, you are absolutely wrong. You are absolutely wrong. Because if you're saying that this version of Wonder Woman here is wrong for women, then you're saying that this version here of Wonder Woman, who is a soldier, is wrong for women. But everybody knows Xena Warrior Princess was about feminism. In fact, it was up beyond feminism into almost lesbianism and into woman superiority and woman dominance, showing that women were actually better than men. To a certain point, that was what was kind of being pushed because it was sort of forced in the TV series. But I liked it for a certain, whatever it was. I liked seeing Xena kick butt, even though some of it wasn't that believable, right? Because she's a big woman. This is 6-something tall woman, and she's big, and she really is strong. All right. But the point is, if Xena is therefore an emblem of sexism, then so is Wonder Woman. And I can tell you right now, there ain't nothing about this image of Wonder Woman here that looks like some sort of sexual object. There's nothing about it. This particular picture here looks like, man, she about to kick some butt. I mean, somebody about to get messed up. Bad. That's what that looks like. There ain't nothing sexist about that. There ain't nothing sexual, that you could objectify about that. There's nothing about it. That's a soldier engaging in battle. That's all I see. That's all I see. And that is what Wonder Woman brings to the table. One of the aspects of it. She does not back down. Superman may back down. Oh, Superman doesn't back down, but he gets beat up, okay? Because he's not really a great fighter. Batman has to look for cover. Wonder Woman, she just goes at you. Because she's not afraid of nothing. And she will kick your ass.